Hello everyone, welcome back. It's time for the round of 16 matchup. This one is going to be Lunatik Esports facing off Iguanagang, as picks and bans are already starting to roll out.
Yeah, picks and bans are rolling out already. Lunatik Esports currently seeded 4th after their recent performances in the Challenger Cup the last 2 weeks. I believe if we check in with them, yeah, they are 4th in the seedings as well overall. So 4th overall. Iguanagang, though, across the way, they seeded 13th this week. Bit further down the standings, but with it only being week 3, it's still anybody's. Picks and bans are flying through quick and fast, and double hunters, boys. Double hunters.
Yeah, those getting locked in is going to be Medusa, Neith picked up by Iguanagang. Lunatik Esports, though, managed to sneak in that Athena, so they're not exactly losing out early on. They have 2 more picks to pick up for themselves, and they have still a whole bunch of hunters on the table. And, as a Neith, generally considered, hell, what was it, 3 weeks ago, even maybe 4 weeks ago, Neith was considered like, why would you pick Neith? And then the Heartseeker buff came around, everyone was running with Neith. Medusa's going to also avoid that whole kind of major look, I'm going to force you to look at the Petrify combination.
I mean, they can go in different roles as well. More than likely, you'll see Neith be the solo laner or the mid laner, depending on where she's going to go. Medusa naturally going to be in that dual lane because of the poke that she's got available to her and the combinations that she can do nicely with her support there. Lunatik Esports, though, they're going to be picking up their jungler and their mid laner as well here in Batz and Agni. The rise of Batz is strong at the moment, mainly just down to the fact that Cat Bologna and generally banned out. Bastet seems to have been dropping out of the meta a little bit more often than not, and Thor's been available here. No one's picked him. We're going to be picking Ares over a Thor. That's an interesting one. If Iguanagang do that, that's interesting.
People forgot about Thor. Or, not necessarily forgot about Thor, I should rephrase that. People learned how to deal with Thor. Someone picks Thor, you just pick a god who has a silence, a god who has a stun, a god who has a knockup. You want to spin to win? I will just stop you from doing that, and a good portion of your damage is just removed. Yeah, you still have good teamfight setup. Yeah, you still have that Anvil of Dawn to initiate from a decent way across the map. But people have learned to deal with him, and because of that, he's kind of fallen out of favor a little bit.
I guess, I mean, I know he's fallen out, people say he's fallen out of favor not being picked up, but he's ridiculously strong still. Right, let's be honest. He's got a great CC. He's got good gank potential, global ultimate just to add to that one as well. There's not a lot wrong with Thor, and that's why we saw him banned up most of the time. That's why I'm surprised Iguanagang chose Ares and not Thor there, because they could have still picked Ares later on. It's unlikely that they would have banned Ares out in the counterban phase. Iguanagang may have made a small misplay in the picks and bans here. Maybe they don't have a Thor player though. Maybe they don't have a Thor player, and they've got another trick up their sleeve.
Well, Fat Loki going to be making an appearance this game. Cabrakan getting picked up by Iguanagang. He's another one of his gods. A buff or 2. People are expecting he's really useful. He's really powerful. Just he's not quite there yet. 1 buff later, he's suddenly seeing a lot of play. So they're going to be running double tank, double hunter. There's so much scary aggression coming out of that team. The double hunter, double guardian. I don't know if that's going to be stayed in the meta necessarily for quite so long. The SPL levels, talking to some of those players, they're kind of like, yeah, we've kind of figured out how to deal with this a little bit, but it's still kind of, we're right on the, we're approaching the top of the hill for that. We'll see if it's a big, long plateau and smooth road, or if it kind of falls off a little bit.
Realistically, the way you deal with the Guardian Hunter combination is you run Assassins to assassinate the backside and skip past the Guardians before they can even get involved. I mean, it sounds really weird to say, but gods like Loki can just annihilate one of these Hunters in no seconds, in 1 second flat. A Batz that just jumps straight onto the carry, and even they could just jump into the backside and take out that carry before they can do anything, is what they're really looking for here. It's actually looking like this is going to be a Cabrakan solo Nemesis jungle if they do lock in this Nemesis here. And we're going to probably see Neith run in the mid lane. Neith basically works in every lane right now. Yeah. I'm surprised we're not seeing her jungled more often. But yeah, everyone's starting to realize Neith is strong. She's been strong for a long time because of her sustain. But with the Heartseeker changes, the Heartseeker was still the same, It was just more expensive in gold. It still wasn't a bad item, but nobody really realized it. Now that you got cheap items, like, hey, Neith works really well with this. Let's pick her.
Yeah. I think part of it as well, she works well in all the lanes, but when you put her in just that, even a couple weeks back, it was basically you pick 1 hunter in a game. And if you're only pick 1 hunter, Neith is like nowhere near the top of the list of gods that you would pick. When you're picking multiple hunters in this particular game, we have, 5 hunters picked up total, but if you count the bans 4, I can't count. There's so many more options when you're doubling up, tripling, quadrupling up on these hunter picks. That's like, Neith is pretty good. Like we said, she's good in other lanes, not just that dual lane. And that's where her strength comes into play. With that, yeah, like we were touching on, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. It's going to be double hunter, double guardian up against double guardian, more traditional composition out of Lunatik Esports.
A little bit more traditional. Let's see how it goes though. Lunatik versus Iguanagang will be on your screens momentarily as these guys get themselves loaded in. We'll bring you all the action.
Hello everyone, welcome back. It's time for the second game of the day. This one is going to be Lunatik Esports facing off against the Iguanagang in this round 3/round of 16 matchup for week 3 of the North American Challenger Cup. I'm Zayden here once again with the illustrious Banterman himself, Hindu.
Banterman, that's what we call the Banterman. Yes, we're going to wait and see how Lunatik versus Iguanagang do. Pretty defensive from Lunatik Esports this first game round, though. They stuck under their tier 2 tower in the middle lane. Didn't want to get caught out of position. I'm guessing, obviously, the invasion potential from an hi-rez Cabrakan, slows from Nemesis, damage from Neith with roots is a little bit much to be feared, so makes sense.
I can't blame them the slightest. This is one of these teams that's like, yeah, we don't want to be anywhere near this. We don't want to get caught out. And as we can see, because we have full vision of everything, we can see that Iguanagang just going to go with normal starts anyway. So Lunatik Esports in the end had nothing to worry about. But you know, hindsight's 2020. We knew that. They didn't, so they played it nicely and safely. We'll see what they look for as they go to lane here in just a moment, though.
Well, let's take a look at the lanes as well and just talk about how we're going to actually see these guys play out more than likely in these lanes too. Because you're going to end up seeing Sobek up against the Cabrakan. This lane is basically going to be a farm fest. I don't really see the other one killing either of them. They're both going to build pretty tanky with a bit of burst damage involved in there as well. Generally, Warlock Sashes can be in the mix or Ethereal Staff. So what you'll see, mid lane Neith versus Agni is going to be a very interesting matchup though. Neith has great wave clear. So does Agni. And Neith is actually going to play this one out a little bit like Isis and actually get the push against Agni, which is something that Agnis aren't generally used to.
Yeah, one thing to take away though, that early first wave clear, Jeremy used that Path of Flames aggressively forward. Doogie punished him for big time. A potion was already used by Jeremy. His health bar was down to about 150-200, so Doogie went for that early aggression and was able to take a health potion off his opponent, so a nice little pickup for him early on. Back
nice chains coming out from Schizo over here on this left-hand side, though. He took a lot of poke from those archers, unfortunately. He did have Vanguard online. He's got a health potion taken, so he should be okay. A little bit of poke on Apollo was okay for the time being. And as you said, those back harpies were taken in the mid, and the next wave is already here.
Yep, you see them getting cleared up quite quickly. It's now Iguanagang's turn to go take some back harpies for themselves. Taking a peek at that right lane. Like we said, it's going to be a bit of a slap fight back and forth. But if Zedru can land a nice charge prey under that tower, Murphy this early on in the game would not fare too well in that situation. But with minions present, Zedru didn't want to use his very, very low at this point in time mana pool and risk a misplay and pull a minion back.
I think this Iguana Gaming, sorry, I can't call it Iguana Gaming because everyone calls themselves gaming or something. Yeah. Iguanagang in this game, honestly, are going to be looking to get towards mid-late game. That's where the Hunters will get online. That's where the Guardians will have a little bit more extra tankiness for them. And that's where Nemesis will start the rolling machine of death that she can actually be towards the mid and late stages of the game. So this is all about Iguanagang not giving up too much in the early game. And Lunatik Esports trying to get themselves snowballing earlier with this Batz, honestly. The Batz Athena combos can be devastating, especially if you've got Apollo that could be coming in with Across the Skies and looking to gank down on people.
Yeah, speaking of Apollo, getting chained up right now by Ares over in that duo lane. Good talk, gonna pull Schizo back in. Not really too much going on, just some minion damage back and forth. Fatal now making use of the minion wave, putting some extra poke on the Schizo. Mid Harpies, though, are about to spawn. Ultimates are online for quite a few of these guys. Zooming in, we can see there are 2 Halos floating around the head of Jeremy, so they could look for something here.
Well, left is definitely Lunatik's right-hand side. We're going to see a 2-man group in both level 5. Sobek and an Agni should be able to bring those down. They do with that nice hog coming out from Zedru there. So a nice small advantage for Lunatik Esports early on. They need to keep snowballing this though and looking for more and keep taking these advantages and making sure they get early aggression. There's a good top.
Yep, stuns coming down as well. Agni bombs paying off in droves.
That's what we need.
Flame Wave secures him that first blood, and yet definitely that first blood is extra gold. Gets that ball rolling in their direction. If they can keep that going, they'll be set up, but they need to start to close this out. They have about 20 minutes really before Iguanagang start to come online.
They can, but here we go again. Salt's going to go over the taunt. Not going to find the taunt though because the backflip comes out from Dougie. But the big key about that as well, Zadin, is that's one of their front lines. That's an Ares that is now behind. He didn't get to mid Harpies in time, obviously, because they were taken. But on top of that, then gets killed. If they can keep bringing down the Ares is who are behind are not great. And that's one of the biggest issues Ares has, is when he's behind, he can just get bursted down when he tries to do anything. And he ends up just being a walking minion, basically, with a couple of chains that can do a little bit of damage. But if he doesn't get himself going, it can cause him some issues. And it's going to be a detriment of Iguanagang if that continues to happen.
Absolutely. Right side, lurking in the waters, being used, but only to clear out some minions. That's the state of the soul lane right now, Hindu. It's so little kill potential, why not use the ultimates to just clear minions? It's not even like, oh, I'm going to use it, go back to base, and by the time I get to lane, it'll pretty much be off cooldown, right? It's just, I want to kill these minions slightly more quickly.
Slightly more quickly. That's pretty much all it is, really.
Yeah.
But like you said, 1-0, and there's a good lead for 1,000 gold and 1,000 experience ahead just off mid harpies and a kill. That's not bad at all. It means they're all farming better as well. It means they're sharing experience a little bit more in the jungles. It also means that they're getting more last hits on these creeps. Don't forget, hitting the creep with the last hit will get you a little bit of bonus gold. A lot of people underestimate that, but that can add up if it keeps happening over and over again.
Yeah, gold per minute graph up on screen right now. You can see the difference right there coming out, right? It's a decent amount, with the exception of actually the dual lane for Lunatik Esports. Salt, you expect a little bit more because he is rotating around as that support, but Apollo, a little bit worse for the wear. That just comes down to the fact that Acid Spray, this early in the game, a little bit better than the So Beautiful from Apollo for wave clear purpose.
It's also down to the fact Salt will wave clear a little bit more effective than Ares, but they're going to go aggressive, talking about Ares on this purple buff, but Jeremy's here with this Agni. This could be a mistake.
That's going to be a kill run on Fatal. Worldweaver comes from across the map as well. Defender of Olympus dropped down to Fatal. They bought him the time he needed to survive that fight.
That was nice.
There's Keaton going in. Fear No Evil drop down. That's going to be a kill into Nuber in the back. He can find one more hit. Can he find it? Yes, he will. You know, the backside. Royalty now in a bad spot. The taunt going to more likely than not lock down that kill.
He's got no dash. He's got no dash, but the Path of Flames was doing a little bit of work from Jeremy on the backside. Dougie is actually doing great work to Jeremy. That kind of force him out. Meanwhile, Batz is going to continue chasing on to this Nemesis, but the dash comes out, but it's slowed still from the nice jump in there from Humbats. He's going to be able to bring down this kill momentarily, thanks to that nice somersault. Monkey's available, but he's got no mana. Oh god, this is... Oh, he gave up. He gave up. He gets mid-camps. It's worth. It's worth. He got mid-camps.
Wait. Not secured yet. Tremors dropped down. He has the Hand of the Gods up and available. That is going to be secure for Keaton on that one. So he has to obscure that one. It just came down to mana. He was out of it. Nemesis had a full bar of mana. The cooldowns were coming back up. And as soon as Swift Vengeance came back up for, the fourth time that chase, she finally was able to get free and clear back to the safety of a tower. And finally escape the monkey on Batz. So... extended chase, but Lunatik Esports once again find a pair of very much needed early game kills for themselves to get that. This is now slowly rolling.
This was Iguanagang, though, like going aggressive for that purple buff, and Lunatik Esports responding correctly at the right time. They knew they were going for the purple. They called in reinforcements from Agni. He turned up. Then the reinforcements came from Iguanagang in the Neith ultimate, as well as Nemesis turning up. Neith had already gone back to base, so she had a long way to run. And then we also saw Humbats come in to help clean up the pieces on the backside. So Lunatik Esports responded very, very well to the engagement, to the aggression from Iguanagang, and they're the ones that paid the price. They've got to be a little bit more careful about position of where their teammates are if they're going to go aggressive like that, because that was all down to the fact mid lane wasn't there.
Absolutely. Had Royalty been there, Worldweaver did come across from Dougie, but Worldweaver's nice, but it is not the same thing as having the Hunter actually there affecting the fight for the entire duration. Things kind of back to normal for the time being, at least. Salt looks some aggression, does find Nuber with a taunt. Last Raid will get her out here quite quickly if needed. There it comes out. They're still going for this kill, though. Defender of Olympus dropping down.
Find it. Oh, he actually looked right at her there. He wasn't even scared of looking at her and did a very, very good job. Did the Apollo, but now Salt's going to go down and trade there. He will fall, but support for a Hunter isn't a bad call. The problem is, though, Gorfu is available. If they realise this, Iguanagang, they could rush this without the support being here. They
could. The difference there being, though, you said support for Hunter's not necessarily a bad thing. Heartseeker stacks. Defender of Olympus was used, so if they had gone for that Gold Fury, it could have been an overall victory for Iguanagang. But in the end, Salt went down, but now both supports have dropped once or twice in the case of Ares. The Heartseeker stacks on Nuber dropping down, it's kind of bring things back towards parity a little bit. Yeah, she has better wave with the Acid Spray, but now Apollo's doing more damage with double the stacks on the Heart, actually more than double the stacks, almost 4 times the stacks, so he's gonna be in control of that lane for at least for a little while.
He is for a little while. A couple more waves, basically. About 4 or 5 waves it would take to actually stack it all the way back up again for that Medusa. I mean, the big key to know here is, like you mentioned, like Athena and Ares. It looks like Ares has got a bit of a DC here. I expect to see a pause in a moment. But there's the difference between an Ares and an Athena, is the fact that Athena can fall behind in the game and still be effective in the mid late game, even though she's behind. Because that taunt will set up so many things by taunting multiple members. Yes, maybe she'll die, but she'll keep people CC'd up for a duration of group them into an area where the team can evaporate them. Whereas in Ares, generally he wants to chains and go aggressive and chase down targets, but he'll be constantly getting poked while that happens. Then if he uses no escape, which eventually does technically taunt them into a big group or 4 speeds, what that's going to end up happening to them and forcing onto them is that he's going to get free damage onto him and go down. So he doesn't work out as well. Go for he goes.
Gold Fury went in about 5 seconds flat. That was a lot of damage coming from Lunatik Esports. The Iguanagang sniffed it out, but didn't you have time to say,
that was abusive pause. That was abusive pause, and that was a really smart play. Like, that's what happens sometimes. If you get a disconnect in the game, you realize who's disconnected. Oh, it's the support's disconnected. Hey, guys, we're on a position to do gold. Let's go do it straight away. They're not here. They get a moment to talk about that, get themselves in position, bring down the Gold Fury is a really, really good call. Really good call. Iguanagang, a little bit late.
Yeah, mid-harpies will spawn right side. They will pick those up. It's Schizo hugging the wall. Hopefully not another disconnect. It's looking like it's going to be. Lunatik Esports, good show of sportsmanship. They're not going to go for that free kill right there. You'll let him disconnect to his own devices and just leave him on the corner. So good call for a nice little bit of sportsmanship from those guys. That said, they're not going to let those other guys necessarily go for free. They were looking for it.
Bye. Bye, buddy. Bye, Schizo. Miss you. There we go. He's going to go back to base there. Who got the mid harpies anyway? I was too busy watching him.
Left side to go to Lunatik.
Ah, okay. I was gonna be like, that's cool. Iguanagang their support DCs, and they actually get. They're not going to be able to pause again. I'm guessing they're out of pauses in this one. I'm guessing what's happened. And they've not paused since then as well. So, looks like Iguanagang a bit of a disadvantage now with their support DC. And again, unfortunately, they probably run out of time. His left-hand side, though, we're going to see some aggression coming out from Royalty. Looking to steal away this purple buff from Fatal, who's waiting patiently for the right opportunity. Get hogged.
As well, yeah, Hog, unfortunately, not easy to burst through when you're only a hunter without the option, without a Hog of your own. Rotations came in, they forced the defensive Olympus on the steal as well, so nice overall play by Iguanagang. They're going to be trying to buy themselves some time and just wait for Schizo to get back into this one. Until he does, they're a little bit behind. If they had a strong lead, they could look to kind of keep things stable for the time being, but 4v5 when you're behind is not a fun situation to be in.
I'm really surprised by that. It looks like Nubru was actually typing there in lane. It was really, very strange. Neith actually came in, put some aggression onto Salt, knocked him to half health, but Nubru was just sat watching. He wasn't actually doing anything. It looked like he was just sat there tapping. If he would have got aggressive there, he had his ultimate available. They could have killed that Athena for 3, who was a little bit overextended on her own. Bit surprising. Yeah. Bit surprising, but I think, the heads of Iguanagang might start dropping because of the DC.
Yeah, it's not a good situation. Anytime this comes up, there's just no way to put it. It's a bad situation. It sucks. Unfortunately, that is the nature of playing games of the internet. Sometimes your connection just decides it doesn't feel like working for this particular instance. So it's just something you have to deal with, try and cope with, and just hope for the best. Hope it's not too long of a disconnect and your team is able to get back into this and get going as soon as possible. For now, though, it is going to be a 3,000 gold lead. It's about 2,000 or so experience on the board as well. Lunatik Esports, a nice little lead for themselves.
Is going to go down in the jungle there, taken down by Fatal in the end. Actually, no, he wasn't taken by himself. Fatal, though, did solo at the same time. Nubru on this left-hand side. He's going to be able to get a tier 1 tower there. Meanwhile, they're all grouping up mid lane now for Neith. He needs to be a little bit careful here. Jeremy's a little bit low in this Agni. Oh, reinforcements are here.
Yep, backflip will come out. Playing a little bit safe, doesn't want to get taunted by Salt and allow those guys to find a nice, easy kill onto him. With that, a little bit of grouping. Not too much aggression coming from Lunatik Esports. Apollo did just take a tier 1 tower in that left lane. A little bit extra gold in those guys' pockets. It's one of these rough situations as a team who doesn't have the disconnect as well. It's like, do you just force, they have a disconnect. Do we just go full on aggressive and just look to really take advantage of it? Or do we let them kind of, stabilize things and let them kind of, not take advantage of it and then possibly end up backfiring in the long run? We've seen that happen in the past. Like, if they have a disconnect as well, they may not have that luxury of getting back in later on if they, let the other team win early. It's a really rough situation, but Schizo's back.
Exactly. He is back, but for how long? Because he's stood still again in the lane underneath the tier 2 tower, not actually moving. He may be having... Oh, he's off again on his merry adventures. See how long he survives this time around. 30 minutes in, left harpies do go to Lunatik Esports this time. 4,500 gold experience lead. 4,500 gold lead as well as the tier 1 tower in mid lane now drops for Lunatik Esports. They didn't have it all easy this game, but it's starting to be that way now as Salt's going to go aggressive in the left.
Yeah, not too much. Just a little roaming through the jungle. They have vision down through this left-hand side. There's sentry wards as well, so they know, or at least one of them is. So they know Salt was not on a ward for the most part. Preemptive Strike charge. They're looking for a possible plan to Doogie with a whole bunch of members from Lunatik Esports nearby, but just not able to find his Doogie to backflip away. Mid Harpy's down. Gold Fury is about to spawn, however, so that may be the next point of contention in this match. Or maybe a little bit of a gank, possibly right lane. World Weaver was forced to stop Keaton from going onto that tower, but they weren't able to find anything either way.
Patiently waiting as the right hand side. We're going to see some aggression. As you can see, Royalty having to disengage there. Tremors comes out. Royalty does bring down K-Dan there. And now you're going to have to see Zedru back away. Left hand side aggression onto Apollo as well here. He's a little bit cut out of position.
Looking for the damage, not able to find it. The move's going to be saving the day for Fate on that one. The rotation's coming in. They're looking for something. Iguanagang could possibly look for that gold fury. You can see Lunatik Esports rotating on over to make sure they're nearby if that does actually occur. And it is going to. The question is, do they respond to this in time? They're going to catch vision on this. Jeremy's rotating on over.
They need a zoner. They need a zoner, and they've not got a zoner on this one now. They're all trying to tank it up. Dougie actually just backflips to the backside. There's the taunt. Medusa roll does come out to deal damage to Hawk. Gold Fury does go to Iguana Gaming, but at what cost is Fatal does bring down Nubru. Apollo, sorry, Irie's going to soon to follow for the double, and Fail's looking for a triple. The backflip comes out, though.
Doogie will not to be free and clear, going back on in. This could be a risky play by him. There's Jeremy going for on the front line, using that Path of Flames aggressively, trying to find this kill. The damage coming out. Bomb not going to find it, but the passive burn will secure that kill. Doogie was trying to do what he could to possibly stop that damage from being stolen away, but just wasn't able to do so. They just turned onto him immediately and burst him down. Well, sorry, not burst, but brought him down, I should say.
Up 15 minutes in, Lunatik Esports did lose the Gold Fury there, but he's still going to be a big gold lead for them of 4,500 right now at 15 minutes. With the tier 1 towers down being left and mid down, they're able to exploit this map a little bit more. You can see Keydan and Jeremy up in this mid lane very, very far forward, able to start stealing away some of the jungle as well. Just keep denying and putting pressure on this team of the Iguana Gaming gang. I mean, they do not. I keep wanting to say Iguana Gaming. God damn it! I'm just going to say Iguana. I
think that's actually their clan tag. They just signed up as Iguana Gang. I was sitting like, wait, is it Iguana Gaming or Iguana Gang? I double checked. It is Gang.
I hate them. But one thing that you can see that why Iguana haven't given up and surrendered yet, which they could have done, to be honest, with the DCs, is that the late game is in their favor. The Nemesis comes online, the double Hunter, the double Guardian will get there and be the front line they need to be. They just need to hold. At the moment, Lunatik Esports are doing well. I think they need to try and put this one to bed quickly, because it's starting to slowly seep in the direction of Iguana if they keep this going.
Yeah, that last Gold Fury did kind of go back and forth. Lunatik Esports with the kills, 1 out on experience. Iguana Gang 1 out gold just for actually securing the Gold Fury. But at the same time, you cannot discount the difference that experience can make. Those extra ranks and abilities, it's a lot of extra damage depending on the god, depending on what ability it actually is. And not to mention on that, but just the regular scaling built into the gods. Extra health, protections, damage, attack speed, all that stuff that just makes you that much more powerful. Ping's coming out there, or at least looking for something on the right side.
There's a big fire right side. Zedru's in a lot of trouble here. Has to use the liquid waters with the Athena Roman's going to buy plenty of time to tank up. There's Athena. Evil coming out after the Batzel. Going to pull him back in. Zedru will go down here. No, he will not. The stun buys time from Jeremy, and still Murphy does bring down that kill, but he's going to go down himself. Yep,
so back and forth so far. It's 1-for-1. The fight still continuing. Jeremy getting locked down. Shackles mean no getting out of that one alive. Skitsu's getting very, very low. Caden finds the kill onto him. As Royalty answers straight on back, so this fight's still going all over the place. Caden looking like he's in the next one down, but somersault's out.
Apollo comes in, Royalty's in trouble, gets dug, gets evaporated by Soul. Dougie is now going to be under pressure, has to backflip away that slower by a second, but the moves are used by Fatal to chase out. Oh, the in-hand, not enough to find the kill for them. Lunatik Esports do come out on that fight 4-3.
Yep.
But it's not as good as you think, because they're going to trade a tier 1 tower on the left for a tier 1 in the right-hand side, and that fight generally helps Iguana more than anything else in getting some kills on the board.
Yeah, absolutely, a big part of it as well. Going 3-for-4, it's not a victorious fight in their favor. They're answering back and forth. They need to make sure they stop this tier 2 push as well. Those will be a just flat-out victory. Teleport coming in from Murphy will do exactly that. So they'll be safe in the end. But yeah, when the fights are messy like that, it's rough, because you do not want to be letting the team get gold, get extra experience, kind of even things out as soon as possible. Because, 10-minute mark, a 10,000 gold lead is great. If they can keep that within 10,000 gold when we get to the 30-minute mark, it's like, oh, 10,000 gold, it doesn't necessarily mean as much anymore.
Look at what Iguana got out of that engagement. Yes, they lost an extra person, okay? But Neith survived. Their carry, Neith survived. Medusa survived and also got free farm and a tower over in the left-hand lane.
Yeah.
How is that a bad thing for Iguanagang when their whole composition is about getting to this mid-late stage of the game and be really, really effective?
Yeah, if you look at the graph as well, it's pretty much just a flat line the past 5 minutes. If they keep things even, things are just gradually getting closer and closer to even. As experience, once you hit level 20, that is it. There's no more extra levels after that, no more extra scaling. Items as well, when things get even out. Royalty gets caught, though, in the jungle. Burst down. Caden and Jeremy together. Finding a kill for Caden on that one.
Sol did really good work, actually, on that rotation. He actually ate a World Weaver. Dougie's in trouble in mid, though. Fatal's coming behind. He's not seen him yet. He will now that those finger bangs are starting to hit Dougie in the back of his head. Backflip comes out. Great Medusa onto by second, but the top was even better from Sol. New Brew under the tower has to lacerate away, but Danny's not done. He'll bring him down. Here comes the fat Loki, though, trying to do work with the help of his boy Ares.
Bale in the back, forced out across the skies. He's not actually going straight on back to base right now, though. He's kind of hanging around. He's going to look for the split push over in that right lane, while the remaining 4 members of his team stick around mid, looking for kills, looking possibly to push that tower. Zidger was looking for something there, but not able to find it. Fat Loki, a little hard to throw when he uses some of those. He gets a nicely timed stun to interrupt the pull.
Well, all that fight is working out for Lunatic because now, like you said, Fatal did get a chance to split push a little bit. He won't find the tower here, but Schizo's got to be careful because he's very, very low level. I don't know why Zedru is running. Why is he not just fighting him?
He definitely.
Okay, he's buying himself a second. He's walking away.
Yeah.
I'm walking away from the troubles in his life. I think this is the issue. Ares is level 12, right? I mentioned this earlier, and you keep seeing whenever Ares turns up, all he can do is press no escape. And after that, he dies because he's not very tanky right now. He went Heart Ward Amulet, which, let's be honest, it's only going to help him up against the Agni and give his team a bit of physical protection, but it's not giving him much armor to deal with the Hun Batz and the Apollo that he's having to deal with too.
And Sovereignty is a huge pickup. Physical damage, that's what towers do. It's, when you're up against double 100 team as well, at the 20-minute mark, this is the point where they start to finally really come online. I know that's been the point of contention. People don't like the word coming online, but this is where they kind of really start to actually do damage. They're not just looking to farm endlessly anymore. They can actually really participate in fights and have a huge amount of influence on them. Gold Fury getting started up. Dougie getting zoned out. Fury will drop down as well. That's going to be a quick pick for those guys. Gold Fury still underway. Blinkins gets a link for the steal. Not going to find it.
No, not going to find it. Lunatic do get it. A good taunt is going to buy his team a second to disengage as well. Royalty does get stunned out by Jeremy, but Salt goes down. The Hunters of Iguana are starting to do work as Nemesis is there with him. New Brew does get hit by the Lurk in the Waters, which does quite a bit of damage. Zedru is here, though, and Zedru is making this work for Lunatic Esports now. And the good flip from him going to allow Fatal the chance to 1v1 New Brew and bring him down. Royalty has to back away. That fight went really well for Lunatic. I'm surprised it went so well.
Yeah, that was messy, but one thing to note as well, that fight was on the back of Dougie getting picked off. At the same time, they spent a couple of ultimates on that. Royalty not going to be able to get out of that one alive. Fatal finds another kill, plus the full-on deicide. There's going to be a tier 2 tower in addition to that Gold Fury. That's going to push them up to a 10,000 gold lead as soon as that tower does fall, which it's going to here in just a moment. That was a messy fight, that Gold Fury, though. If Dougie hadn't gotten picked off beforehand, that really could have been a fight going the way of Iguanagang.
I agree, it really could have been. Iguanagang looked pretty good in that fight as well. It's a rough situation to be in because they still technically are behind, but they're just still trying to play the game of hold on. We saw a surrender vote come on the screen from Iguana then. They've said no to it quite clearly. They're wanting one more fight at least. They've not lost the Fire Giant yet. They've still got towers remaining. As long as the Phoenixes still stand, they can turn this game still. They still have the composition to get to the late game and be effective. But Lunatic's gold advantage right now is starting to get a little bit too high to deal with.
Fire Giant getting started up right now. Zidru is trying to zone these guys back out. They're coming on in though. New Brew does have that Petrify available. If they get caught out under this Fire Giant, that will be bad. It does catch Salt. He's going to be sitting in that lava pool. A lot of damage. They do secure the Fire Giant. Now, can they find the ensuing kills? Or will Iguanagang be able to turn this one back around?
Will they be able to turn it around indeed? Skits up the Ares is in amongst them, but going to get targeted by Salt. Backflip as well coming out from Dougie, but chased down by Dan immediately. He gets evaporated. Meanwhile, though, Nemesis is trying to bring down Dan. Dan's going to do a good job of surviving. Salt does show him the element to bring down Skit Zoe, and now they're looking to bring down Royalty as well. The Storm will buy him time for the overhand smash to connect from Dan as Fatal dives the backline to bring down New Brew, and all Murphy can do is wander his fat Loki backside back to the Phoenix.
He's gonna try to, but run into the Lunatic Esports lineup. He's gonna drop down some tremors, throw a bit of a rampage, but it's not gonna matter. Lunatic Esports having none of it will put him in timeout for just about 50 seconds. Respawn times are starting to slowly tick down. Iguanagang are probably gonna be able to defend the Titan at least for a moment. They're not gonna be able to look to rush this one down. They took a Phoenix. There's a tier 2 tower still standing. There's a left side Phoenix exposed. Why not play it safe? I imagine there's a decent chunk of gold in hand. 3,500, 3,000 on Apollo. Take this Phoenix. Maybe take that tier 2 on the way out. Go back to base, buy, and then look to probably start ending the game at that point.
Yeah, well, the Phoenix does fall in the left-hand lane. The tier 2 still remains in the middle. Lunatic going about this very clinically and bringing it down. They could have potentially ended there. They didn't want to run the risk of a throw at any stretch of the imagination there, but it's a bit of a rough ask now for Iguan Gaming. Looks like Murphy's DC'd, potentially Rage, potentially DC. We'll find out soon. Oh, he's back, so he's just a quick DC fix there for him. But it's beginning of the end for Iguana Gaming now. They've done their best to try and hang on to this one, Zayden.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's just too much to try and come back from the state they're in right now. The Ares DCs didn't really help them. They fell behind early, and it was important Lunatic tried to exploit the early game advantage that they would have with the Hun, Batz, Agni, and Apollo Athena combos that they can set up there with themselves before all these Hunters, Guardians come online.
And for now, at least, they are managing to accomplish just that. Iguanagang going to be on the defense here for a little while, at least. Let's see if they can hold on to this one. Tier 2 tower, they're grouping up. They want to keep those minions at bay as long as possible. But once Lunatic Esports properly group up as 5, that Tier 2 tower is probably just going to be let go. They're looking for this pick. This is a 3v3 grouping for now, at least. But Keaton wasn't able to find that good Fear No Evil setup he was looking for.
Yeah, I'm hoping Murphy turns up to this fight because they really need him. He's level 20 right now. He's the full tank. Taunting mid from Sol. He's going to force out beads again and buy his team time to bring down this tier 2 tower. Murphy is on the rotation over from that solo lane finally, but already Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie because he doesn't. He got evaporated in a second. And the Lick in the Waters combo with Sol is nasty.
Damage coming out across the board. BK, or not BK, it's Jeremy, excuse me, stuck on the last game, finds a kill with that rain fire from the skies. He's going to pick up a kill on that one. That is the power of those displacement guys. You find the pluck onto the right person, the team fight is pretty much over before it starts. It's all now just down to clean up the final Phoenix fell. Firemen are approaching the Titan. It's looking like it's going to be game. It's a Nemesis and a Medusa still standing. They're trying to do what they can, trying to buy time. It's all down to Nubru. This would be a massively impressive defense, but the minions are approaching. Apollo flying off into the sunset, or maybe getting stuck on the statue in the Fountain of the Chaos base. But nevertheless, Lunatic Esports will secure the victory with the defeat of the Titan up against the Iguanagang, who put up a pretty good fight given the unfortunate circumstances they found themselves in on the back of those disconnects.
The disconnects did hurt them quite drastically, but Lunatic Esports are 4th seeded. They're going to move on to the quarterfinals once again. They're going to be up against Normie's Leave. We'll see who we're checking in with next, guys, in the next round. Quarterfinals are up on your screens momentarily. We'll be right back with the next round action.